What up, Carlson? It's your boy Byron, and let's get started with the news. The NHS will be holding after-school tutoring for all subjects on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the library. If you need help with any class, stop in and get some help from highly qualified tutors. Yearbooks are on sale for $75 until sold out. Books can be purchased online at yearbookordercenter.com or in person with cash or check. Senior ads are still on sale. We have an assortment of sizes and templates to make your ad amazing. Girls soccer preseason conditioning meets in Memorial Building lobby or hall near cafeteria. It will take place Monday through Thursday at 7 to 8 p.m. You must have a physical on file to participate. Follow on Twitter or contact Coach Briggs or Coach Hunter. Seniors, the scholarship spreadsheet has been updated. It includes several local scholarships. Pick up a copy in the counseling office. Track preseason workouts will be held every Tuesday at 3. We will meet in the Memorial Building entrance. Bring clothes to run inside or outside. Attention, all you gamers out there. BPA is sponsoring a Mario Kart 8 tournament to take place the week of January 27th during all 3 lunches. The cost is $5 per entry, and there will be a cash prize for the winner. Your spot in the tournament can be purchased during all 3 lunches this entire week. Don't miss out on a chance to improve your gaming skills. It is that time of year again. Snowball will be Saturday, February 8th. Tickets will go on sale during all 3 lunches starting on January 27th and will be sold through Friday, February 7th. Cost will be $10 a ticket, and guest passes can be found in the main office or in Ms. Fournier's room before and after school. There will be an Interact meeting on Wednesday, February 19th after school in Mrs. Salabine's room. Interact is a service club open to all grades at CHS with no activity fee, and all are welcome even if you haven't attended a meeting yet this year. Don't forget about Carlson's Food Pantry. If you have food or are in need of food, stop by and see Mr. Pahodi. Next week is Winterfest week. Here are the spirit days for next week. Please take part. Reminder, the dress code is enforced. Monday is PJ Day. Tuesday is TikTok Tuesday. Get ready to renegade on TikTok Tuesday. Wednesday, Decade Day. Dress in your gear from your favorite decade. Thursday, Alien Day. Dress like you are from out of this world. And Friday is Blue and White Day. And now we got someone back in the studio. If you know, you know. I got BPS on set. Let me just pass it over to him and get the weather.
What's up, Carlson? It's your boy. Today we're about to have a high of 34 and low 26 with a 0% chance of snow. I just want to say RIP to the GOAT, man, Kobe Bryant. He will be missed forever. Now passing it back to my dude, Bubba Char.
RIP to Kobe Bryant. We will still be shooting our paper basketballs into that trash can and yelling Kobe till we die. We'll see you later, Carlson.
It means a lot. I think one of the things that Joe Brighton kids don't have a chance to have what we have is a normal high school experience, whether it's a football game, a basketball game, and that's what we try to provide. However, I feel like our kids get as much out of the game, if not more, than their kids do. You know, being able to spend the time with them, realizing that the Joe Brighton kids are just high school students who go to a different high school. We just want to do a lot of the same things they do. And it's great to see the whole community come together. You know, digital media, the band, the cheerleaders, a whole basketball program, all the fans, the administration there. It's grown into a big event.
I heard it pop, I felt it pop, I knew that immediately something happened, and it turned out that I tore my rotator cuff and partially tore my labrum, and it required surgery. So when they discharged me, I had 90 Percocets. And this was in 2006. I had never experienced a Percocet or any sort of opiate at that time, but discharging a person like me with 90 Percocets was the worst thing that could have ever happened. I had no idea what was about to happen, but it was the beginning of a very long journey.
So my first injury was during basketball season. I dove for a loose ball and I twisted my knee and kind of tried to walk it off and noticed something felt funny. So I went to the doctor, they did an MRI, and I had a torn meniscus while I was in high school, and shortly after I had another 2 surgeries, so I always had prescriptions around. It was pretty readily available.
From the time he was probably, I would say, 8, 9 years old, he played baseball, basketball, then he got into football in high school. Just loved football. He played it for 2 years. In 2008, he got an injury. He fractured his ankle and pulled a hamstring. He went to the doctor, and of course, like any doctor, they have to do something for the pain, so he thought, okay. I had no problem with it. At that time, I didn't know, about opiates or anything like that. So I gave him medication, let him do it on his own. He's 16 years old. The pills were running out very quickly. So he's, Mom, I'm in pain. I need to go back to the doctor. I take him back to the doctor, of course. Doctor prescribes another prescription with no problem.
We know that teens and adolescents don't have fully formed brains, and so some of the control centers of the brain and some of the centers of the brain that help with thought and processing and also reward the idea of how high or how good you feel from a substance aren't fully formed in the brain, and exposures to substances, including alcohol, tobacco, but opioids as well, even though these are prescription medications, have the potential to lead a young adult towards higher rates of addiction later in life.
And the injuries that soccer had given me, by the time I was in 8th grade, I was already prescribed Vicodin. By the time I was a sophomore, I was being prescribed morphine, and that eventually that chemical addiction just took over.
I played football and I wrestled, and I was a great football player, and I was a varsity football player by the time I was 16 years old, and I got an injury and the doctor prescribed me Vicodin. And as a result of being prescribed Vicodin, I picked up this addiction, and I was addicted to pills, and I was a kid.
Perception of risk was really low because it was prescribed by a doctor, so I didn't see any reason why I couldn't take it whenever I felt the need to take it.
Looking at that picture, knowing that I just took the first pill and there was 89 more in my pocket. If she would have known that there was this thing, this little plastic container with just destructive pills inside, she probably would have just burned the entire thing. She had no idea, and I certainly didn't have an idea either, that the next 10 years of our lives were going to be heartache. One turned into 2, and the tolerance then went up because my body became dependent on that, and 2 then wasn't enough for pleasure, so I had to do 4, and within a week the pills were gone. And the pills should have lasted me for, a month, 2 months, something like that. So, and I remember the day after I was done with the pills, my body was already hooked. I was already experiencing withdrawal symptoms, and it was not a good feeling.
Cody lived on the streets. He lived in abandoned buildings. He robbed drug dealers. He did everything he possibly could to get his hands on heroin. That morning, my husband phoned him. My son swallowed all the packets of heroin. Died instantly, according to what they're telling me. He ingested enough heroin, and take that bag of heroin and fentanyl. The fentanyl was enough to kill 15 people.
I was just all about pills. That's all I wanted to do, because I needed them. I had to have them. I went from being, what I would think is a good kid that grew up in a good neighborhood, that had loving parents, that never experienced, trauma or neglect or drug abuse, that had a wonderful opportunity at success, that went to good schools, that could have been a Major League Baseball player. But here I am, like this guy that had all of that, and now I'm a heroin addict, and it lasted for 10 years. 10 years. Homelessness, jails, institutions, overdoses, hospitals, lying, cheating, stealing, just pain for 10 years.
We understand what it means to play, baseball every single day, and how quickly someone can become addicted to these drugs. Baseball inherently is an unnatural sport, overhand throwing and rotational, puts a lot of stress on the elbows, shoulders, joints, hips, knees. One wrong injury, one shoulder surgery, one elbow surgery, all of a sudden, Oxycontin and Vicodin, and you're hooked and you could be out of baseball.
It doesn't matter if, you come from this neighborhood or that neighborhood. It doesn't matter what sports you played. It doesn't matter where your parents went to school. It doesn't matter what neighborhood you grew up in. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. Everything that you learned in terms of morals and values and principles, maybe in your life, or maybe you didn't learn, all that stuff goes out the window because you don't care what you need to do to get another one. You have to have this to function.
You have a duty to your child to make sure you understand what you're handing out to him. Even if it does come from the doctor, you become the conduit that's giving him that substance, him or her that substance. So ask the questions. Is this really necessary? Do you need 60 Vicodin, or can you get away with 3 of them and then take Motrin? Or can you get away with none of them?
Those kids who get an opioid are more likely to move down a path of chronic use. And so I think it is important for parents to always consider how appropriate each prescription opioid pain medication is. And that can be a challenging place for parents to be questioning the physician that's caring for their child or the dentist that's caring for their child, but you certainly have to be your own advocate.
They're not going to probably ask questions. They're probably not going to push back. So they're going to do what they're told, which is written on the prescription. And I think that's another problem that we have. And that's why the parents have to really wrap and engage and let their children know it's okay to question the taking of pain medication and narcotics.
All I know is that there has to be more communication about this kind of stuff, because there's not one single person, if they know this stuff, that has to go down the road that I went down. It can all be avoided. Every day I get some sort of Facebook message or email or phone call or text that somebody I know died from an opiate overdose. And most of them started with a legitimate prescription because of an injury.